There are villages you've never heard of yet once seen. They stay with you forever. Tucked along sapphire coastlines, nestled in misty forests, or perched high on limestone cliffs. These places feel like whispers from another time, from the hills of France to the lakes of Italy. From Mexico's hidden gems to Montenegro's quiet bays, each village holds a world of its own. They're not loud, not famous. But here, people live slowly, breathe deeply, and let beauty speak without saying a word. Are you ready to discover some of the most beautiful villages on Earth, where the magic lies not in perfection, but in stillness, soul, and simplicity? Sandavagur, Denmark. Tucked along the southern edge of Vagar Island, Sandavagur is one of the Faroe Islands' most picturesque villages. It sits between emerald hills and the open sea, framed by rugged cliffs and wide skies. The village is best known for its striking red-roofed church, built in 1917, and the legend of a Viking settler whose stone inscription was found nearby. Bright green grass blankets the land year-round, while seabirds soar overhead and sheep graze freely along the coast. Though small, Sandavagur carries a quiet strength, rooted in Faroese tradition, shaped by wind and water. On calm days, the reflection of the village dances on the fjord's surface, and the only sounds are wind in the grass and distant waves along the shore. It's a place where nature doesn't surround the village, it includes it. Tjørnuvík, Denmark. Nestled at the northern tip of Streymoy Island, Tjørnuvík is one of the oldest and most isolated villages in the Faroe Islands. Surrounded by steep mountains on three sides and the North Atlantic in front, it feels like a world apart. Just offshore, the sea stacks known as Risen and Kellingen rise from the ocean, shaped by legend as a giant and his wife turned to stone. Their silhouettes stand guard at the mouth of the bay, always visible from the black sand beach. The village itself is tiny, just a few turf-roofed houses, a stream that cuts through the valley, and the sound of waves meeting rock. Mist rolls in and out, giving the place a shifting, dreamlike feel. Though only a short drive from the capital, Tjørnuvík feels untouched by time. It's the kind of place where silence isn't empty, it's full. Kotor, Montenegro. Tucked deep inside the Bay of Kotor, this medieval town feels like a secret, wrapped in stone and sea. Surrounded by steep limestone mountains and calm blue waters, Kotor looks like a postcard come to life. Its old town is a maze of narrow alleys, stone archways, and quiet squares. Venetian walls still guard the city, climbing the mountains like a winding spine. Every turn feels like stepping into another century. Sailboats drift through the bay. Church bells echo in the distance. Cats stretch in the sun near centuries-old chapels. It's peaceful, but never still. Even with more visitors in recent years, Kotor keeps its soul, not just in the buildings, but in the rhythm, the way light moves across rooftops, the hush of water against the harbor, the feel of old stone underfoot. This is a place that doesn't rush. It invites you to slow down, look closer, and listen. Păraști, Montenegro. Just a short drive from Kotor, Păraști feels like time paused centuries ago. Say, this tiny town hugs the shoreline, with baroque stone buildings facing a quiet stretch of the bay. Seagulls glide above orange rooftops. Palm trees line the waterfront. But what draws every eye are the two small islands just offshore, Our Lady of the Rocks and St. George, each crowned with a lone church, floating in still water. Păraști once thrived as a wealthy seafaring town. Today, its calm streets and faded facades carry the memory of those days. You can walk the entire town in minutes, but it stays with you much longer. There. Here, the sea is always near. You hear it in the lapping against old stone steps. You feel it in the breeze through shuttered windows. At sunset, the mountains turn gold, and the islands seem to drift closer. In that light, Păraști doesn't just look like a painting, it feels like one. Uzungöl, Montenegro. Perched on the southern edge of Montenegro's coast, Uzungöl is one of the oldest towns on the Adriatic, shaped by centuries of waves, winds, and wanderers. Its old fortress stands high above the sea, with stone walls that once watched over pirates and poets alike. Narrow alleys wind through whitewashed houses, where Eastern and Western cultures quietly meet. Below, the beaches stretch wide, especially Velika Plaža, the longest in the country. The sand is soft, the water warm, and the sky seems to reach further here. You'll hear many languages. You'll smell grilled fish, fresh bread, sea salt. And when the call to prayer echoes from a hillside minaret, it feels like a soft thread connecting past and present. Uzungöl doesn't try to impress. It invites you in slowly through texture, history, and the sound of tide on stone. Uzungöl, Iceland. Perched on the edge of Sjalfandi Bay, Uzungöl is known as Iceland's whale-watching capital. Colorful houses line the shore, backed by snow-capped peaks and wide northern skies. Boats glide into the bay, where humpbacks breach and puffins skim the waves. The sea here feels alive, and so does the town. The wooden church stands quiet above the harbor, its white steeple catching Arctic light. Locals smile easily, wrapped in warmth against the wind. In Uzungöl, even the silence feels fresh, carried on salt air and the rhythm of distant waves. Seyðisfjörður, Iceland. At the end of a narrow fjord in East Iceland lies Seyðisfjörður, a village where color meets silence. Wooden houses, painted in soft blues, reds and yellows line quiet streets, their reflections rippling in the glassy water. Surrounded by steep mountains and endless waterfalls, the town feels sheltered, as if nature wrapped it in its own valley of calm. In summer, purple lupines bloom wildly. In winter, snow hushes every sound. Yeah. The rainbow path to the iconic blue church feels almost symbolic, a walk into something peaceful, gentle, and deeply human. Seyðisfjörður doesn't dazzle with grandeur, it lingers with grace. Uzungöl, Turkey. Tucked deep in the green mountains of northeastern Turkey, Uzungöl surrounds a lake so still it feels like a mirror laid on the earth. Mist drifts between the pines. Wooden houses cling to the slopes, their lights glowing softly at dusk. The lake was formed by a landslide centuries ago, but today it's a place of calm, where the mountains watch their reflection ripple with the wind. A mosque with twin minarets rises near the water's edge, its call to prayer echoing gently through the valley. Uzungöl isn't far from the world, but it feels like a pause from it. Chamonix, France. Cradled beneath the towering peaks of Mont Blanc, Chamonix is where the Alps feel truly alive. Sharp ridgelines rise above green valleys. Glaciers glint in the sun. Cable cars float silently into the clouds. This alpine town has long drawn climbers, skiers, and dreamers. But beyond the thrill, there's quiet beauty. Wooden chalets tucked among pines, the sound of boots on gravel trails, and crisp air that smells of snow even in summer. The mountains don't just frame Chamonix, they define it. And when the light fades across the ice and stone, everything slows, and stillness settles over the valley. Eguisheim, France. Tucked in the vineyards of Alsace, Eguisheim curls in perfect circles, its cobbled lanes spiraling around a quiet central square. Half-timbered houses lean close, painted in warm pastels, with flower boxes spilling color from every window. The scent of wine and fresh bread floats through the air. Church bells chime gently above tiled rooftops. Everything here feels arranged with care, charming, lived in, and timeless soul. Surrounded by hills and vines, the village glows at golden hour, when sunlight warms every wall and shadow. Eguisheim isn't just picture perfect. It's a place where you slow down without meaning to. Èze, France. High above the Mediterranean, Èze clings to a rocky cliff like a stone dream. Its narrow paths twist upward past stone walls, archways, and quiet courtyards filled with flowers and light. From the top, the sea stretches endlessly below blue, bright and silent. The air smells of citrus, salt, and old stone warmed by the sun. Art galleries hide behind ancient doors. A cactus garden crowns the summit. Time feels distant here, as if the village watches the world from far above. Èze isn't just a view. It's a feeling of calm, height, and something just out of reach. Gorders, France. Perched on the edge of the Luberon Hills, Gordis rises in soft stone layers like a village carved from the mountain itself. Terraced homes climb the slope, their pale walls glowing gold in late afternoon light. Narrow alleys lead past shaded fountains, arched doorways, and quiet corners that smell of lavender and sun. From the top, the valley stretches wide, dotted with olive trees and vineyard rows. The rhythm here is slow. Life moves with the breeze, at the bells, and the footsteps on warm stone. Gorders doesn't just sit above the land, it blends into it, beautifully and quietly. La Roque-Gageac, France. La Roque-Gageac clings to a limestone cliff along the Dordogne River, as if carved by time and sunlight. Golden stone houses line the water's edge, their shutters open to the breeze, their walls warmed by the afternoon sun. Palm trees and Mediterranean plants grow in tucked-away gardens, fed by a natural spring hidden in the rock. Canoes drift gently down the river, beneath the gaze of ancient fortifications above. Everything here feels suspended between earth and sky, past and present. The Roque-Gageac doesn't rush. It reflects in still water, in soft light, and in the quiet grace of its stones. Moustiers-Sainte-Marie, France. Tucked between two cliffs in Provence, Moustiers-Sainte-Marie feels like a village caught in the sky. Stone houses climb the rock face, and above them, a golden star hangs suspended on a chain, glinting in the sun, swaying in the wind. A stream runs through the heart of town, its sound echoing off ancient walls. Ceramic shops glow with soft light, and the scent of lavender drifts from open windows. The walk to the chapel above is steep but quiet. Every step brings wider views, deeper stillness. Moustiers doesn't surprise with grandeur, and it moves you with beauty, with silence, and with sky. Rocamadour, France. Rocamadour clings to a cliff above the Alzu Canyon, its buildings stacked like a stone staircase leading to the sky. For centuries, pilgrims have climbed its steps, drawn by faith, legend, and the quiet power of the place. Chapels are carved into the rock. Bells ring softly through the valley. At dusk, golden light catches every wall, every rooftop, like a slow blessing. Shops and cafes line the base, but above, silence takes over. The higher you go, the stiller it becomes. Rocamadour isn't just built into stone, it feels carved into something deeper: devotion, time, and light. Saint-Paul-de-Vence, France. Set on a gentle hill above the Riviera, Saint-Paul-de-Vence has long-drawn artists, poets, and quiet wanderers. Its stone walls wrap around a maze of narrow lanes, sunlit courtyards, and quiet galleries. Marc Chagall once walked these paths. Today, flowers bloom from windowsills, and the clink of cafe glasses echoes beneath ivy-covered arches. Shadows move slowly across old stone. The air smells of pine, citrus, and warm terracotta. You don't rush through St. Paul, you drift past painted doors, soft laughter, and the feeling that art isn't just inside the galleries, it's in the village itself. Alberobello, Italy. In the sun-drenched hills of Puglia, Alberobello stands out with its curious charm. That hundreds of truly white stone houses with conical roofs cluster together like something out of a fairy tale. Each roof is built without mortar, balanced stone by stone. Some are marked with ancient symbols, others topped with crosses or suns. Together, they catch the light and cast soft, dancing shadows. Narrow lanes twist between the domes. Bougainvillea spills over walls. The scent of bread and olive oil drifts from doorways. Alberobello feels playful, peaceful, and quietly timeless. A village that looks like a dream and lives like one too. Èze, Italy. At the foot of the Dolomites, Èze rests beside a quiet lake that mirrors the mountains above. The peaks rise steep and pale, glowing pink at sunset. Below, the water stays still, calm as glass. Chalets line the shore, their wooden balconies filled with flowers in summer, soft snow in winter. The sound of church bells blends with birdsong and the soft rustle of wind through pines. Even in stillness, the village feels alive with mountain air, clear water, and old stories told by firelight. Èze isn't just a stop in the Alps. It's a pause, wrapped in silence and stone. Trani, Italy. Tucked between cliffs on the Amalfi coast, Trani is one of Italy's smallest seaside towns, but its beauty is anything but small. Whitewashed homes rise in layers above the beach, their arches and stairways hugging the rock. Narrow alleys twist under vaulted passages. Lemon trees bloom in tiny courtyards. At the heart stands a quiet piazza, where locals sip espresso as sea breeze rolls in. The waves touch the shore, just steps from the village walls. Church bells echo softly from above. Trani doesn't compete for attention. It simply offers peace wrapped in sunlight, stone, and salt air. Bellagio, Italy. Where Lake Como splits into two branches, Bellagio rests at the tip, elegant, sunlit, and still. Stone stairways rise from the water's edge, lined with colorful facades, green shutters, and trailing vines. Cafes spill onto terraces with views that feel like paintings. Boats drift across the lake. Mountains soften in the distance. Grand villas hide in gardens above, while quiet lanes below echo with footsteps and the clink of wine glasses. Bellagio balances grace and calm. It doesn't try to dazzle, it simply shines, in reflection, in rhythm, and in the hush between waves. Burano, Italy. Floating in the Venetian lagoon, Burano is a village of color and quiet charm. Each house wears a different shade: lemon yellow, deep red, sky blue, reflected in the calm waters of narrow canals. Fishermen once painted them this way to find their homes in the fog. Today, the colors still shine, bright against the soft light of the sea. Lace shops line cobbled lanes. Boats rock gently at small wooden docks. Everything moves slowly here, even time. Murano doesn't just catch your eye, it softens it. A village painted in joy, held together by light, water, and memory. That. Calcutta, Italy. Perched on a volcanic cliff north of Rome, Calcutta feels like a forgotten world suspended above the forest. Stone houses cling to the rock, their walls weathered by centuries of wind and silence. Once abandoned, the village was revived by artists and wanderers. Today, galleries and cafes fill the old rooms, while ivy curls across archways and cats nap in the suns. The only way in is on foot across a narrow path that opens to views of green valleys and endless sky. Calcutta is not polished, it is raw, quiet, and quietly magical, like a secret meant to be stumbled upon. Cefalù, Italy. On Sicily's northern coast, Cefalù balances between sea and stone. A golden beach stretches beneath a medieval town, where narrow streets lead to washing lines, hidden courtyards, and the scent of sea salt and lemons. Above it all rises La Rocca, a rocky cliff that guards the village and offers wide views of waves and rooftops. And at its heart stands a grand Norman cathedral built from warm stone and quiet faith. Fishermen still mend nets by hand. Children run barefoot through the piazza. Cefalù doesn't rush, so lets the sea set the rhythm and the sun warm every wall. Hachlet. Maratea, Italy. Hidden along the rocky coast of Basilicata, Maratea overlooks the Tyrrhenian Sea with quiet grace. Its old town winds up the hillside stone lanes, hidden chapels, and balconies filled with flowers and sun. Above it all stands the towering statue of Christ the Redeemer, arms open wide to sea and sky. From there, the view stretches across green cliffs, deep coves, Gistibukul, and distant blue sea. Waves crash softly far below. Church bells mark time above. Maratea is both coastal and sacred, where silence meets sea breeze, and every step feels close to something higher, older, and beautifully still. Polignano a Mare, Italy. Perched on limestone cliffs above the Adriatic, Polignano a Mare feels carved by wind and waves. Whitewashed houses hang above the sea, their balconies catching sun, spray, and the scent of salt. Below, a narrow cove opens between stone walls, Lama Monachile, where swimmers dive from cliffs and boats drift through turquoise water. The town hums with life, but always beneath the sound of the sea. Poetry is carved into staircases. Music drifts from hidden courtyards. Polignano doesn't just face the ocean, it lives with it. Bold, bright, and full of rhythm that never quite stops. Matera, Italy. Carved into limestone cliffs, Matera is one of the oldest living cities in the world. Homes, chapels, and stairways blend into the rock, an ancient maze of stone called the Cefalù. Caves once used for survival now glow with soft lights and quiet life. From rooftops, the landscape looks timeless, like history caught mid-breath. Church bells echo through narrow alleys. Candles flicker behind heavy wooden doors. And at dusk, the entire city turns golden, like fire trapped in stone. Matera doesn't just tell the past, it lets you walk through it, feel it, and carry it with you. Monterosso al Mare, Italy. The largest of the Cinque Terre villages, Monterosso al Mare stretches between turquoise waves and green hills covered in lemon trees and vines. Its old town is a tangle of pastel houses, narrow alleys, and hidden cafes that open onto quiet squares. A medieval tower watches the sea. Below, colorful boats rest on the sand, and umbrellas line the beach in tidy rows. The scent of salt and fresh pesto fills the air. Time moves gently here, tied to tides, footsteps, and sunlight on stone. Monterosso doesn't just welcome you, it makes you want to stay longer than planned. San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. In the highlands of central Mexico, San Miguel de Allende glows with color and charm. Its cobbled streets wind past bright facades, iron balconies, and blooming bougainvillea. At the heart stands La Parroquia, a pink stone church rising like a dream above the square. Mariachi music drifts through the air. So does the smell of fresh tortillas and roasting peppers. Artists, writers, and wanderers have long found home here. But the soul of the town lives in its rhythms, sunlight on old walls, shadows at dusk, bells in the morning. Every corner feels touched by beauty, and every sunset seems to linger a little longer. Castelmezzano, Italy. Tucked deep in the Lucanian Dolomites, Castelmezzano looks like it grew straight out of the mountain. Stone houses press against jagged peaks, their rooftops echoing the sharp lines of the cliffs above. The village is quiet, just narrow lanes, worn steps, and the scent of wood smoke in the air. Goats graze on distant slopes. Eagles circle high overhead. In summer, brave souls ride the flight of the angel, soaring by cable between Castelmezzano and a neighboring village suspended between earth and sky. But even without the thrill, this place stirs something deep. Castelmezzano is wild, rooted, and quietly breathtaking. San Sebastián del Oeste, Mexico. Tucked high in the Sierra Madre, San Sebastián del Oeste feels frozen in time. Once a rich silver mining town, today it's a quiet village of white walls, red roofs, and cobbled silence. Clouds drift low through narrow streets. Church bells echo off green hills. Horses clip-clop past faded haciendas. The air is cool, the coffee strong, and the pace unhurried. Pine trees surround the town like old guardians, and every path leads to a view worth pausing for. It's not a place to pass through, it's a place to return to slowly. Cervo, Italy. Cervo clings to a Ligurian hillside, its pastel houses stacked above the sea like a quiet choir. Olive trees line the slopes. Narrow stone paths climb toward the top, where the Baroque church of San Giovanni rises like a beacon over blue water. The scent of rosemary and salt drifts through archways. Cats stretch in patches of sun. Artists paint in the open air, their easels balanced on ancient steps. The sea shimmers just below, close enough to hear, always present, Cervo doesn't call out. It whispers in sunlight, in music, and in every view that opens between walls. Song. Dolciacqua, Italy. Nestled in a quiet Ligurian valley, Dolciacqua is a village of arches, stone, and slow rivers. A single medieval bridge, graceful and curved, crosses the Nervia like a path from story to silence. On one side, pastel houses lean close. On the other, the ruins of a castle rise above olive groves and terracotta roofs. Winding alleys lead past cellars, art studios, and vines heavy with flowers. Claude Monet once painted this bridge, calling it a jewel of lightness. Dolciacqua still feels that way, delicate, calm, and touched by something timeless. Nesso, Italy. Tucked between steep cliffs on the shores of Lake Como, Nesso feels like a secret whispered by water and stone. Stone houses climb the hillside, linked by stairways and tiny bridges draped in ivy. At its heart flows the Orrido di Nesso, a deep gorge where two streams meet and drop into the lake in a hidden waterfall. You hear it before you see it rushing, echoing through the village. Everything here feels close. The lake, the mountains, the quiet. Nesso doesn't show itself quickly. It reveals slowly through mist, sound, and the rhythm of falling water. We've just wandered through places where time moves slower, where every stone, shadow, and breeze carries a quiet story. These villages may be small, but they hold something vast: peace, depth, and the feeling that beauty doesn't need to shout to be unforgettable. If even one of these places made you pause, breathe, or dream a little deeper, then the journey was worth it. Thank you for coming along. If you felt something today, consider subscribing. There's so much more of the world to see, and I'd love to explore it with you. Until the next quiet corner, stay curious and stay open. Oh.